So we've been advised by our different grant administrators to continue working, continue moving forward up into a point that you would be signing documents. So we've been, we want to continue doing our research, keeping staff on these projects, continue to move it forward without having to sign any agreements or creating that liability or those commitments. And so tonight we've brought before you some of the information that we've been working on Riverside Park. I'm also going to let Director San Giacomo speak just in case I missed anything.
I'm going to just take a step back real quick and just there's been a series of propositions that the California voters have passed over the past 5-6 years, that being Prop 12, Prop 40, and Prop 50, commonly referred to as Park Bond Acts. Prop 12 was the first of these that we received allocations of per capita money. So just based upon our population size, we received a set of funds. And then there was also a competitive side in which we were successful and received a competitive grant. Altogether with Prop 12, we received about $200,000. And $100,000 of that went towards playground renovations, and $100,000 of it was competitive that went towards the improvement at the Ukiah Sports Complex. These grants that I'm talking about are all reimbursable grants for the most part. So you do the work and you get reimbursed. The issue with the state now is they've said, because of the cash flow issues and the crisis at the state, we can't provide reimbursements at this time. Don't enter any new contracts that would extend any type of liability for you. And we're going to be reconvening in January to discuss how we might move forward on it. So the good news that Katie is reporting on is that Prop 12, we've done the projects, we've received full reimbursement for those projects. So we're not any outstanding, got the money. On Prop 40, same thing. We had per capita money of about 300,000 in per capita money. And then we had competitive grants as well, totaling 1.5, that being 500,000 that's equally split amongst the skate park, the swimming pool, and Anton Stadium renovation projects. On the per capita side of the projects, we have all but $10,000 that is outstanding in that area. So we've done over $300,000 worth of projects and have received reimbursement for that. So that again is very good. There's a lot of cities who are in very bad situations where they've spent the money, they have bills due, but they don't have the funds yet to pay them. The bad side about this is that on those 3 projects that I mentioned, we're in detailed planning stages with each of those. With Anton Stadium, we're set to just about go out to bid. We have the construction documents that the Anton Stadium Stakeholder Committee that is made up of a number of volunteers and stakeholders in this local community that have worked very hard, donated probably thousands of hours of time on getting these documents ready to go out to bid. So we're very close to being ready to go out for that project. On the skate park side, we're very close on the site selection. We're moving forward on the planning, and we have a contractor, Wormhout, who's doing all that planning, and we're set again to go out to bid in the very short term. The swimming pool, again, we're in the planning stage on. So I think it's important at this time with those 3 projects that we don't lose sight that we've received a lot of in-kind donations, the local matches that we need. So we have a good deal of money amongst the skate park and the Anton Stadium project that will allow us to, I believe, get fully through the planning phases on those 2 projects without extending any city liability in the terms of use of having to front any city funds for those projects. And that we will position ourselves well when the state hopefully decides to release these funds. We will be set to put these documents out to bid and continue the project. So we hope at this point the decision by the state to stop hasn't really slowed us up, and we're going to continue to move forward with the planning side. There may be a point in time, if the state doesn't act soon, that our planning phase will have to be halted prior to going out to bid, and we'll keep you up to date on that process and where the state is at. They have said in their notifications and letter that they will be notifying us and reconvening in January, the 2nd week of January, next week or this week, to continue that discussion. These all are voter initiative bond acts. Part of the problems with some of them is the cash flow issue at the state, The other issue is that there is no bond market right now. So with Prop 50, I think in particular, they're having difficulty maybe even selling or even being able to acquire the funds needed to fund that. And it is very much a wait and see phase with regards to that funding at this time. Prop 50 is a project that we just received award of the award. It's a competitive grant. We received $800,000 for Riverside Park. And that's been a project that has been through the conceptual phase, funded by the California Coastal Conservancy and other grant funding that we received over a period of probably about 10 years now. And we've done some work at the site with grant money, such as the security fencing and some security work. And the planning has started. I think we have about, either 25 or 50% plans, depending on if you're looking at grading or other improvements at the site that have completed. We are hoping that this $800,000 will allow us to continue along taking those conceptual and partial plans to fully developed in plans and then being able to go out to bid and actually develop a portion of that park. It wasn't for the entire park. It was for a smaller portion of the park, so to get us going. So that, I think, kind of wraps up of where we're at with these 3 grant processes.
Now, if that was inadequate, maybe council has further questions. I appreciate very much. I think it was a very educational presentation. Are there any questions at this time?
I've got a specific one. With the document from RMM Design Group, they provide a list of outline of work and a list of subtasks. Subtask A2 and A13 both have to do with trees. And given the discussion that took place last month about the possibility of a tree ordinance, which we did not move forward with, but what we did was express an interest and a resolve to make sure that what happens with trees in our city makes good sense. Ms. Roden and I volunteered to be involved with the citizens around that. And so at the point that this work goes forward, the arborist report and the survey of trees, I wonder if some citizens might be involved, not with the writing of the report, but simply as observers and given a chance to learn from what the arborist has to share.
I think that point's well taken, and I think that is definitely possible. So, again, our point here in showing you some of the stuff, these are working documents, and we wanted to show you where we were at this point. These documents are still yet to be changed. You will be seeing them again prior to them being implemented because you have to approve them. So,
Further council questions for staff? Is there public comment on this item, which deals with state funding from 3 different bond acts for various projects throughout the city? The biggest one on this agenda item is the Riverside Park. Any comment at this time?
John Graff speaking as a citizen. I have a concern that in spending more money into the projects that the state has identified, I mean, they came out with a list of the projects that they put on hold, basically. I gave you a copy of that, or you pulled up a copy of that one of the last 2 meetings ago, I believe. And I would say that one thing that you should look at and think about as a council is that if the state is telling you that they've put these on hold, would it be wise for us to spend additional city funds on any part of it until we find out whether they're going to get the money or not? For those of you that have followed the state finances, they're not in very good shape, and we're talking about a lot of money that they have to figure out to get the state through the next year, and the way things are looking, they could run out of cash here pretty quick.